That looking good? Are we looking good? Alright, I guess it looks like we're looking good. Okay, cool. So, sorry I'm late, fellas. I just wanted to make sure that like everything was where it was supposed to be. Everything was how it was supposed to look and all that and function. And if you were here last week, you saw that that was kind of a disaster. Like OBS crashed like 3 times. Yeah, no, it was that was not cool at all. So I wanted to take some extra measures to make sure that didn't happen. One of those measures. One of those measures is using my busted up laptop. So sorry if you hear the exhaust going. That's just, I don't know. Until I can have that like repaired, it's just gonna sound. It's gonna sound like an asthmatic, like 12-year-old chain smoker. But yeah, no. How y'all doing? A lot of cool comics came out this week. So yeah, no. What's up? What'd you read this week? Tevye. Oh, what's up, Tevye? How you doing, buddy? Yeah. Yeah, a lot of cool comics came out this week. I got my comics bag right there. And honestly, I don't even know why I'm like. I don't know why I'm fronting. I don't know why I'm trying to make myself appear as though I'm late for just the sole reason of technological failures. One of the core reasons is I was reading this. Hey, I got my hands on a copy of JLA Avengers. This is an amazing comic. I'm really glad that Marvel and DC were able to work something out for this. Again, it's really unfortunate. The reason why this book was reprinted is through the Hero Initiative. And for anyone who doesn't know what the Hero Initiative is, the Hero Initiative. Let me put my mic right here. The Hero Initiative is basically an organization that raises funds for comic book creators who are in a state of crisis or, be it financial or medical or what have you. And unfortunately, George Perez is battling terminal cancer. Just like absolutely unfortunate. I've never met George Perez personally, but of my friends who have had the opportunity to meet him, they say that he's an absolute a beautiful human being. It's really kind of unfortunate that that Marvel and DC couldn't put this shit aside beforehand to reprint this, because this comic's really fun. But I'm glad that it's out, and I'm glad that the money is going towards a good cause. In fact, you can still donate to the Hero Initiative. I think I'll try to find a link for it, and then post that into the description of the stream after it's no longer live. But I picked up JLA Avengers. I was reading JLA Avengers before the stream. I got to this really funny part where the Justice League and the Avengers have kind of swapped universes, and you have the Avengers hanging out on the DC universe, and Quicksilver is just like, yo guys, what the fuck? Like, in this universe, speedsters are like worshipped. They got like a whole museum. How come I don't have a museum? And it's like, well, I mean, Pietro, you're kind of a piece of shit. That's why no one has a museum for you. But nah, dude, I love this comic a lot. Like George Perez's art is just absolutely amazing in this. Just look at it; it's breathtaking. I also love the designs in this. I've never read the George Perez Avengers run, but reading this makes me want to go back and check out some of those because, like, look at this. This is Scarlet Witch's design. I really like the design for Scarlet Witch in this. She looks really cool. Oh, and this is the Avengers fighting Starro. Like, come on. I got to this page and I just, like, audibly let out, like, a moan and started grinning like an absolute jackass. Like, no, this comic is beautiful. I love it. I can't wait to read through this. Again, circumstances withstanding, but nah, dude, I'm really glad that I'm finally able to read this. I'm really glad that a lot of other people are finally able to read this. It does suck that there are scalpers out there who are like buying up, copies of JLA Avengers just to like resell them at like triple the price, and it's like, bro, this is for charity. Like, fuck are you doing? Like, I'm all about chasing the bag. I'm all about making your money, but have some fucking respect, dude. Like, that's just how I feel about it. Like, have some fucking respect. Like, read the room, nigga. Like, sorry. But, yeah, that's how I feel. But, yeah, no, I absolutely love this comic. It's really fun so far. And, if you can, because I know stores are in, like, very short supply, but if you can get a hold of it, definitely do so. I highly recommend it. This comic is absolutely fun. And, again, the money goes to a very noble cause. But yeah, no, JLA Avengers, absolutely fun. And let me do this before I go any further. Just gonna share the stream. By the way, can you guys hear that like whirring in the background? I see that like some of y'all like finally dribbled in. If you can hear that, like, I don't know what sounds like a cross between a jet engine and like Darth Vader furiously masturbating, that's just my laptop breathing fire because this thing is old and I need to get a new one, but I'm lazy. Yeah, just sharing the stream on the socials of medias. But yeah, there we go. Cool. So, right then, Tristan, hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Tristan says, hi, Mystical Green Beanie. I'm in San Antonio with my family, and I get some books at Barnes & Noble, and I got a lot. Oh, nice, man. Happy travels. Are you not from San Antonio, like, originally? Or I guess maybe you are originally, and you're just kind of, like, going back to visit? Either way, it's cool. I'm not trying to dox you, just, I was just curious. But yeah, no, cool. That's what's up. Happy travels. Tristan says, the books that I'm getting are 10 Lives of Wolverine, number 5, Avengers, number 54, Carnage, number 1. Damn it, Carnage, number 1 did come out this week. I forgot. Nightwing, number 90. Yeah, dude, my comic book store was sold out. I'm super jealous of you. Yeah. That's the one with the crossover with the Flash. Yeah, I bet that was really cool. Batman, Superman, World's Finest, number 1. Oh, we'll talk about that. Hey, yes, that book was so good. And Batman the Knight, number 3. Sweet, man. I'm hearing a lot of really good things about Batman the Knight. That's a comic that I'm gonna pick up later, when it's like in trade, like fully collected. Part of that's just because Batman fatigue, and I can't really justify buying any more Batman single issues. But yeah, no, dude, totally. I'm hearing a lot of good things about Batman the Knight. Tevia says, I completely forgot about JLA Avengers coming out today. Yeah, hopefully you can go to your store and see if they have a copy. Tevia says, I really want to get that story. Yeah, it's really fun so far. I don't mean to like rub it in your face, but yeah, it's really cool. Tevia says, I hate scalpers. Yep, I do too. And I'm gonna be like charitable, and I'm gonna behave and be a good little boy and just leave it at that. I'm gonna leave that righteous fury alone, because scalpers, fucking scalpers, dude. They get on my nerves. And not just with like charity comics, just like in general. Because scalpers don't read comics. They just buy shit to flip it. And it's like, dude, what's wrong with you? Somebody wants to read that comic and you're going to like take it out of the hands of someone who actually wants to read it? Which is like the intended purpose. Just so you can make some chump change. Fuck scalpers, dude. No. I don't play that shit. Tristan says, books that I got from Barnes & Noble today were Moon Knight by Jeff Lemire and Greg Smallwood, the complete collection. Yes, that comic's amazing. I love it, dude. Congratulations. I said that like you were having a baby. But no, have fun. That comic is really cool. I also think James Stokoe, who's an artist that I really love, great horror artist, did Aliens Dead Orbit. If you ever get a chance, one of the best Alien stories as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely amazing. That whole Jeff Lemire run on Moon Knight is amazing. And it's funny, my review for that for that book has just kind of skyrocketed in terms of like popularity. Like it's getting some numbers now, and I think that's because of the Disney Plus Moon Knight series coming out, which I am cautiously optimistic about. I don't want to say that I'm excited for it, because I was excited for all the other Disney Plus shows. And yeah, like I liked the first 3 episodes of WandaVision. What else? Falcon Winter Soldier I thought was not great at all. Like people like asked me to review it, and I was like, you don't want me to review this. Like I'm not. No. Hawkeye hurt me. Like Hawkeye like really hurt, because I love Hawkeye. Like I don't know. Like I really like Ultimate Hawkeye, and I really like Matt Fraction's Hawkeye, and I feel like they tried to marry the two together, and I don't think it worked, because even then, like it just felt like they took the most superficial attributes of Ultimate Hawkeye and the most superficial attributes of Matt Fraction and David Ayer's Hawkeye, and just kind of and yeah, no. I wasn't a fan of Hawkeye. I'm sorry. And that like really freaks me out about Moon Knight. Like I'm really scared about that show. I hope it's really cool, but I don't know. And then there's Miss Marvel. Yeah. Again, I hope it's cool. I hope it's really cool, but nervous. Very nervous. Although one thing I can't take away from the Disney Plus shows, they all look really good. Like, say what you will about like the quality of the writing and the storytelling, they all look amazing. Like, WandaVision's probably the best looking like superhero TV show ever, with The Boys being like a close second, I think. Or I guess live action show. But yeah, no. I always try to go into things like with a tinge of optimism, because you know it is what it is. But sorry, that's just me going on like a tangent about stuff. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, Moon Knight. Yeah, no, Moon Knight's really good. I'm glad you got a chance to pick that up, Tristan. That's a really cool comic. You also said you got Kingdom Come, Morbius, Miss Marvel Volume 1, and 7 Secrets. 7 Secrets. 7 Secrets. I know that title from somewhere. That's, is that a Boom Studios book? I think so. I think so. Maybe. But, and Miss Marvel Volume 1. Yeah, dude, sweet. Yeah, Miss Marvel Volume 1 was really cool. That whole G. Willow Wilson Miss Marvel series is really cool. If you can get over some of the tie-in-itis that series unfortunately kind of falls victim to, just because Miss Marvel got really popular, I think, at one of the most inopportune times for a character to be popular in Marvel Comics. But yeah, if you can get past some of the like tie-in-itis that book has, specifically with Civil War 2, and some of the stuff done with Kamala and the dynamic with her and Carol Danvers, if you can get over that, then I think you're really gonna like the Miss Marvel series by G. Willow Wilson. It's really cool. Also, the art's really good. Like, consistently, they change artists like I think 3 or 4 times, but consistently the art's really fun and like really dynamic. New type JB Lee. Hey, what's up? How you doing, bud? Hey, Green Beanie. I hope you are well. Spidey question. How come you don't like 90s Ben Reilly? What is your issue with him? Do you really want me to get into that? Do you really want me to get into that? Okay, well, I mean, it's not that deep. It's pretty simple explanation. I don't hate the sinner. I hate the sin. And Ben Reilly's, my friend, is existing. That's right. I pulled a Jesse Eisenberg Lex Luthor. No, I don't hate Ben Reilly as a character. I think Ben is a really fun character, and I see why a lot of people like him. The problem with Ben is just everything around him, the way he was handled. I just think he's a very poorly managed character. It gets to a point, like, okay, the Ben Reilly stories I think are really fun, but it's less a problem with the character itself and more a problem with everything around him, with the Clone Saga and the way in which, like, Peter Parker was brought back, and then Marvel was like, oh, psych, you thought that we said that Peter was the clone and Ben's the original, but now we're taking that back, and this character that you were getting invested in, nope, and then just unceremoniously dies by getting stabbed by Norman Osborn's glider. Like, what? Dude, no, it's just such a poorly, just such a poorly handled character. It's very frustrating, and it's one of those situations, like very unfortunate situations, where the character himself is like really cool, and I like him a lot, but everything else around him just like brings in this funk of, yeah, I don't know, yeah. That's the best way that I can explain it. I don't dislike him. I dislike everything else around him, which then makes me dislike him. It also doesn't help that other writers tried to come in and like bring Ben back and like didn't do it well, in my opinion. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. I hope that's that answer will suffice. Tristan, okay, cool, sweet. I don't know where that is, but, if I find myself in the area, I'll let you know and I'll hit you up and we can, like, talk comics and take me out to, like, a cool comic shop out there. Tevia says, I really liked the Flash book that came out this week. It was tons of fun. Oh, well, just rub it in my face, why don't you? I'm sorry. No, I'm kidding. But I'm not kidding. I am jealous of you because I didn't get a chance to read The Flash or Nightwing. But yeah, no, that's really cool. I'm glad you got a chance to check that out. Samuel Myers. What's up, buddy? How you doing? I think I already said what's up, though. So, I'm not going to retract it, but I'm just going to, like, change that to what's your favorite book coming out right now? Which you said Batman the Night, which answers my question. So, sweet. Tevye says, Lives of Wolverine I thought was a waste of time. Yeah, well, to each his own. I know a lot of people who feel the same way that you do, and I also know a lot of people who like also really enjoy it. It's one of those titles, and that's kind of like the beauty of comics, I feel. There's like legitimately something for everybody, which is both a hindrance and a help in a way. So, yeah. I added way too much sugar to this tea. Tastes like candy. Tristan says, Seven Secrets is the Boom Studio series by DC's somewhat new golden boy Tom Taylor. Okay. Yeah. I got it. I knew it was either Boom Studios or Image. I'm glad I got that like on a first try. That's cool. Tevye says, yeah, the Miss Marvel tie-ins to Civil War 2 were really bad. Yeah. I feel like Ben Reilly's Spider-Man keeps getting screwed over by bad stories, and frankly, this Beyond arc has ran my patience. Well, I don't know why you're still reading it, buddy. Like, I tapped out. I'm just waiting until Zeb Wells starts his series, and I think April? Possibly? It's one of the A months. It's either April or August. It's one of those. Samuel, I've only started reading Ben Reilly with his new book. So far, I enjoy it. Sweet, man. Is that the one by DeMatteis, the flashback book? Yeah, I really... Part of me wants to read it just because I like Ben Reilly's costume. I know that's like very superficial, but Ben Reilly's costume slaps. Like, come on, you can't just sit here and deny that Ben Reilly doesn't have the best Spider-Man costumes. He absolutely does. Well, except for that one where like it was like a weird kind of like it was the hoodie, but it was also like a spandex outfit. And like you can see a smile underneath the. No, that was weird. That was I don't know what. Did Mark Bagley design that? I don't know what Mark Bagley was thinking when he did that, but it didn't work. But outside of that, all of the other Ben Reilly costumes are like absolute bangers. And I really hope we get some of those Ben Reilly costumes in the sequel to the Spider-Man PS4 game. I guess Spider-Man PS5. It has a name. It's called Marvel Spider-Man, but like I've been calling it Spider-Man PS4 for the past like 3 years. And I'm sure I'm just gonna call Marvel Spider-Man 2. Not by its official name. I'm just gonna call that shit Spider-Man PS5 because that's the console generation it came out on. But yeah, I really hope we see the not the Scarlet Spider outfit, although I really like that one. But I hope we see the damn it, what is it? The Spider-Man costume, like the actual Spider-Man costume that Ben Reilly has. I think that costume's really cool. Although I like the Beyond costume a lot. I think that looks really cool too. But the original one, just with the web shooters on the outside, come on, that's just such an aesthetic. It's so cool. No, you can't get better than that. It's really cool. And I've been talking so long that the chat moved on without me, so I guess I'm just gonna go to my next comic that I got this week, which is World's Finest #1 by Mark Waid and Dan Mora. This comic is... Look, I don't want to be hyperbolic. You know, I don't want to make any bold claims and hype this book beyond a point that it can like actually deliver. But this is everything a superhero comic should be. This is brilliant. I love it. I mean, okay, I do have some criticisms here and there, but like on the whole, this is like everything that I want from DC Comics. It's really fun. There's a lot of words. There's a lot of reverence for DC Comics, specifically the Bronze Age, and well, not okay. I say the Bronze Age, but really this covers like the Gambit. Like this goes from like it kind of starts in like a Bronze Age kind of place, but then it flashes back to like a Silver Age kind of place, or I guess much rather a Golden Age place, because Batman's wearing like a Golden Age kind of costume. And no, this comic just is pure DC. It oozes like DC-ness. I don't know how else to say that. I absolutely had a great time reading this. Dan Mora's art is fantastic. Let me just show you some of these goated pages here. Look at this. Come on, man. Like Dan Mora is like the absolute goat. But there's another one before this that I really enjoyed. It's wait, no, actually it might be after this. It's this one with Robin that I think is absolutely this one. This dude. Okay, this book says World Finest as like the title, but like Dick Grayson clearly stole the show. Like Mark Waid put some respect on my boy Dick Grayson. I was absolutely loving this comic. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know how to sell this to you without like grinning like an idiot, because while I was reading it, I was grinning like an idiot. You know, this comic was just pure DC. Like it's like, look at this. Like Poison Ivy just attacks Metropolis, and look at the way like Dan Mora draws Poison Ivy. Like, okay, I love how, and again, I love how he's taking a lot of these like Silver Age like costumes, and not doing the like tactical thing where like he just adds armor plates on everything, but no, he makes the Silver Age Batman and Robin costumes look, you know, kind of modern. He makes Poison Ivy look kind of modern. He makes Metallo look kind of like, where's a cool Metallo? Yeah, he makes Metallo look kind of cool and modern, but not compromising like the core design philosophy that these characters were kind of born out of, or like evolved into in terms of like iconography. And the best thing that I can compare this to is, I'm not sure if you guys remember that old Brave and the Bold comic series that Mark Waid also, I think, did the bulk of the issues for. This feels exactly like that. And I'm super excited to see where the rest of the series goes. Like, you even got the Doom Patrol in here. Which, I was reading it and I got kind of like surprised, but like I don't know why I was surprised, because if you've read enough Mark Waid DC comics, you know that okay, Mark Waid has a clear thing for the Doom Patrol. like he really likes the Doom Patrol. Specifically like the Bronze Age Doom Patrol. Not that I don't think he has a problem with like the Grant Morrison stuff, but I don't think that speaks to him as much as a lot of the Bronze Age stuff does. But yeah, no, this comic was absolutely like, this was a treat for me. I loved it. And just seeing Dan Mora draw Batman and Superman is just everything that I've wanted ever since I read Klaus. yeah. This is what I've always wanted. And I'm glad that we finally have it. So yeah, no, this is I can't recommend this highly enough. This comic is absolutely amazing. This blew me out of my boxers. I creamed my jeans, and then I careened off the side of the road and died and came back to life, so that I can specifically make this live stream and sell you that comic, which is sitting right there and is amazing. But yeah, no, let's see. Tevia says, I love The World's Finest book by Mark Waid. Really great and tons of fun. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I absolutely loved it. I really like the World's Finest variants by Jim Lee, Jason Fabic, Art Germ, and Chip Zdarsky. Damn it, dude! Yeah, no. Apparently, my comic book store ran out of the high five meme. Not meme, but the high five variant cover. So, oh well. But I still like this because this cover is still great and just feels like quintessential Batman Superman to me. If I do have one complaint, because I really enjoy this. I do have one complaint, although to be fair, it is the first issue. I do feel like Superman is kind of a non-entity in this book. Like, it's more of a Batman book featuring Superman, while Superman's just kind of like a plot device to get the ball rolling. So I don't know. That's a problem that I have, but I don't know. I mean, it's also just the first issue. Like, literally, I don't know where everything's gonna go in the next 2 to 3 issues. But that's like a consistent thing that I have with Mark Waid in the way he approaches like Superman just in general. Because he loves Superman, and I do think there are times where he doesn't want to like compromise the character or like show him in like a negative light. But I don't know. Again, I'll see where it goes. But yeah, no, I absolutely love all this. This is, again, just everything I want. Not just from DC, yes, but like Batman and Superman in particular. And really Batman, because as much as I love modern Batman and like I appreciate what like Grant Morrison has been doing, like did with the character, and what Tom King did with the character, I like that run more than most people. This is what I want Batman to go back to. Like I kind of miss Batman just being like a cool, hip dude who's he's Sherlock Holmes in a bat costume. I think that's really cool. But yeah. Sorry, I could talk about this book for ages. Because it's like everything that I want from, those characters right now. But anyways, moving right along. Ugh. My bag was empty and it was flopping, so I had to make a weird noise to get it to stop flopping. None of that was phrased well, but anyways, here's Radiant Black. This is the last comic that I picked up this week. I feel really dumb, like really dumb, because I read this on the train ride back home, and I remember as this comic was coming out in single issues, I passed it up because Invincible was really popular at the time, and it's an Image book, and oh look, they got Robert Kirkman to do the hype up for it, and it's just another superhero Image title, and this is just gonna be a lame version of Invincible, and looks stupid, and who gives a shit? And then I read the first issue. And I felt the exact same way. But after reading this in trade, I wish I could just go back in time and like just slap myself from the past, like with my ass cheeks, because this is the shit. This is great. This comic is really fun. The best way that I can kind of describe it is that this is Power Rangers for people who don't like Power Rangers, but like the idea behind Power Rangers. If that makes any sense at all. Like, this comic is really fun. It's really, like, high concept sci-fi. There's a lot of ideas about, like, this great cosmic war going on. And all of these characters are, like, chosen to be, like, avatars of these, like, higher dimensional, like, robot gods. And they have to, like, fight this intergalactic war that spans millennia. And this team of, like radiant, not blacks. That's a charged statement. But this team of, like, this radiant rainbow of soldiers. They like come together, and they kind of have to get over their differences, because some of them get their, like, weird cosmic superpowers, and they're like, hey, I'll just be a superhero. And some of them are like, no, I'm going to rob banks because I need money. Because we live in the real world and shit's fucked. And I'm looking out for numero uno. But, like, they're all kind of on the same side. They don't know it yet. And yeah, this comic's really cool. And I just had an absolute blast reading it. I think it was Tristan who recommended this to me 2 weeks ago. So thank you very much, Tristan. I very much appreciate the recommendation. I had an amazing time reading this. This is right up my alley. And I can't wait to pick up Volume 2, hopefully next week. So yeah. Yeah. Those are the comics that I read this week. Now let's get back. Alright, let's get back to the chat. Alright, so I'm going to go back up to where I think I left off. Let's see. Okay. So we're going to go back to the Ben Reilly debate, as it were. This is from New Type JB Lee. Thoughts on the original 6-month plan for the 90s Clone Saga, with Aunt May dying, Pete and MJ becoming parents, and letting Ben take the mantle. Honestly, I think that would have been a really great conclusion for the character of Peter Parker. I think it would have. And this is one of those weird situations where I see why they didn't do it, but I wish they did. But with superhero comics being superhero comics, or I guess American superhero comics being American superhero comics, a lot of these characters don't get a chance to end because there's just too much money left on the table. And putting a period at the end of a character's existence. I legitimately think Peter and MJ becoming parents, and in that, Peter letting Spider-Man go and moving on with his life, that's the perfect ending for Peter Parker. And I have this with a lot of other characters, not just Spider-Man. I have this with, like, Daredevil. I have this with Superman. I have this with Batman, definitely. Where I think a lot of these characters can just kind of end, and maybe they should end and let other characters come in and take their place, and then live up to the legacy of what that previous character kind of established. So yeah, definitely in the case of Spider-Man, I think that is the direction Marvel should have gone in, personally. Not to say that I haven't liked anything else that's come out of Marvel Comics with Peter Parker comics the past 30 plus years, or I guess 25 plus years, because I really like the Straczynski run. I don't like Dan Slott's run, but there are things in it that I like. I really like Matters of Life and Death. I think that's one of the best Spider-Man stories, not just written by Dan Slott, but period. I think that's a beautiful comic, and just the point of Spider-Man is right there. It's great. And I like the Nick God damn it, not Nick Land. I keep wanting to say Nick Land, but that's just I've been living with his material for a long time because of my my philosophy class. Nick Spencer. Nick Spencer, I like his run on the Amazing Spider-Man more than most people. I also really like a lot of the Chip Zdarsky Spider-Man stuff. So there's Spider-Man content that I like that's come out the past couple of years, but if you gave me the option of picking between Peter Parker going away and having somebody else take that mantle while Peter lives his life as an adult, and what we've been getting for the past 25 years, I would choose the former, because I think Peter Parker has had several really good definitive ending points as far as being Spider-Man is concerned. It's just a big missed opportunity. I view that the same way that I view Bruce Wayne not dying after Final Crisis, because that's another big one. Bruce Wayne's death in Final Crisis is the best way to end the character of Bruce Wayne, and there will never be a better way to do that. You can't outdo Bruce Wayne. This character who defines himself by the tragedy of his parents, and making this vow to make sure that never happens to anyone ever again. He has this whole vow, to rid the city of evil, to rid the world of evil. He hates guns. He internalizes his fears, and he takes an image of negativity and horror and makes it something positive. This guy, Bruce Wayne, is put in a position near the end of his career as a superhero, as a cosmic adventurer among this pantheon of gods, where he solves the murder of a god. The world's greatest detective solves the murder of a god. Finds out that Darkseid, the devil, killed his son, who was a god. And Batman confronts him, right, with this, I think it's a meta gun. Because the new gods, of course, they live in a higher state of being, so a lot of the weapons that they have are meta weapons and concept nukes and whatever the fuck. So when Batman presents the murder weapon that Darkseid he used to kill Orion with, it's of course it's a gun that is not just any gun. It's the gun that represents every gun throughout the history of mankind, past, present, and future. It's the gun that killed JFK. It's the gun that killed Abraham Lincoln. It's the gun that killed Thomas and Martha Wayne. Batman shoots Darkseid, the architect of evil. The darkness inside of humanity. Batman shoots evil with the gun that made him Batman. And that's his final act. And then DC goes ahead and undoes it. Like, why? Why? No, sometimes, I know a lot of these characters are very profitable. I know you got to make movies and backpacks and TV shows and sell toys and whatnot. Bruce Wayne will never have a death as good as that ever again. Just like Spider-Man will never have an ending point as perfect as the back-to-back-to-back, smack of Aunt May dying and then finding out that he's a clone, and then Ben Reilly showing up and being like, hey, well, now that you're not really Spider-Man, can I be Spider-Man? And Peter's like, yeah, go for it. I'm going to live my life now. I've atoned for the death of my uncle, and I'm just going to go off and I'm going to live life. We're never going to get another status quo shift like that ever again. And that's a big missed opportunity, I feel. But yeah, I guess in a very drawn out way, that's me answering New Type JB Lee's question of what I thought of the original 6-month plan of the 90s Clone Saga. And Tristan says, at least in the Beyond storyline, Ben comes back to make a redemption out of himself by becoming Spider-Man again, but Beyond kind of screwed Ben over by lying to him. Hope nothing bad happens to Ben. Well, it's good to have hopes. Tevi says, the flashback story with Ben Reilly by J.M. DeMatteis is great. Okay, sweet. I'm sold. I'll check it out. Tevi says, yep, Mark Bagley designed that terrible Ben Reilly suit. Okay, yeah. And Samuel Myers says, sold me. Oh, from when I was talking about World's Finest? Yeah. Dude, I'm really glad. That comic's really fun. I had a lot of fun reading that comic. Tevia says, question, any opinion on Kane, Scarlet Spider, and why do you think Marvel doesn't use him? Probably just because nobody has a pitch for him right now. And I don't really have an opinion on Kane. I think he's he's a weird holdover from sorry about that. I think Kane is a weird holdover from the 90s that didn't die, and Marvel just doesn't know what to do with him. So, I think that's the boat that Kane's in right now. Let's see. New Type JB Lee. Do you feel the Clone Saga should have ended with Amazing Spider-Man number 400, aka Aunt May's death? Because that is a great issue, and I think it's a natural conclusion. I don't... You know what? I don't know. I'll say I don't know. I will say I think that is a great issue, and I I do believe bringing Aunt May back from the dead after that was very cheap. Yeah. If I'm gonna put that nicely. Tevia says, do you think the Clone Saga should have also ended with Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and Mary Jane becoming parents to their daughter, Mayday Parker? Because I want that more than ever. Kind of. I think that's, you know, a good possible ending for them. Yeah. I think that could be a cool ending. I think when it comes to Spider-Man, I think when it comes to Peter Parker, the ideal ending for that character is not death. I think it's him finally coming to grips with the fact that Uncle Ben's blood is not on his hands. And if it is, he's atoned for it 1,000 times over. And he doesn't need to be Spider-Man anymore. He just needs to focus on being a loving husband, potentially father, and provide for his family. And let somebody else take over being Spider-Man. You know, I think that is the perfect ending for Peter Parker. Because I fundamentally feel like Spider-Man, just as a concept, is a young man's kind of tool for finding yourself and, you know, coming to grips with, you know, growing up and adulthood. And I think once you kind of get there, well, then you don't need Spider-Man, you know, as a tool to teach you those life lessons. You know, now that you have those lessons that you've internalized them, your arc's finished. You know, on to new things. And I think that's very much the case with Peter Parker. Or I guess should be the case with Peter Parker. Tristan, did you see the trailer for the new Marvel event called Judgment Day, which features the Avengers, X-Men, and the Eternals? I have not. But I do think it's really cool that Marvel does trailers for their comics. You know, I wish more people did trailers for their comics. I think, you know, I'm not gonna throw shade. But no, I think you know, having trailers for comic events is like really cool. And I'm really glad that Marvel puts forth the effort to do that. Tevia says, Radiant Black is such an interesting story. Yeah, dude, I really like it. Again, it feels like Power Rangers for people who don't like Power Rangers, which fits me perfectly. You know, I like the idea of Power Rangers, but when I actually like sit down to watch Power Rangers with my buddy Ziggy Gamma, and some of my other friends who are like really into like manga and anime and love tokusatsu and stuff like that, I just don't get it. And it's weird, like I'm the age where like I should have grown up with it. I should love it, but I don't. I don't know. I was that one oddball out. I just didn't vibe with it, and I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Power Rangers, but you know, I like the idea. I really like the idea, and that's why Radiant Black is like so appealing to me. Tristan says, "You're welcome, dude." Yeah, no, thanks, dude. It's amazing. I love it. I really appreciate the recommendation. Tevia, what about Miles Morales? Why can't he take over as Spider-Man and let Peter and Mary Jane get married again and become parents? Ideally, that's what I would want. I also think it would really help Miles out in, you know, clearing the way for Miles to like really carve out his own spot in the Marvel Universe as the Spider-Man. I think that's the big thing holding his character back. You know, Marvel's reluctance to let Peter Parker go. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, no, I definitely think letting Peter take a step back and letting Miles enter into the spotlight as the Spider-Man would really help his character, because Lord knows he needs it. New type JB Lee. Dan Slott is not the worst writer on Spider-Man. John Byrne deserves that title. He retconned Aunt May's death, undid Sandman's redemption arc, and tried to kill off MJ, and had Peter kiss a teenage girl. I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me. My thanks, I mean you're banned. No, I'm not gonna ban you, but but damn it, oh no, why would you remind me of that? That's terrible. Yeah, that did happen. John Byrne does that trope a lot, though. I'm not trying to say anything here, but he did that with Doom Patrol, where Cliff Steele and Rita are like put back in their like old bodies because they time travel, and then they're like making out, and Rita's like 12 and Cliff is like a 40-year-old man. No, it's weird. It's very weird. John Byrne does that a lot. I'm not saying anything, but it's kind of weird. I also think John Byrne does that retcon where like it's revealed that Sue Storm always loved Reed Richards, and that Reed, when he was an undergrad, used to live with the Storm family. Yeah, no, weird, very weird. I'm gonna change the subject though. I'm just gonna go back to some of the other chats. Tevia says, Slott's run drove me insane, and having Doc Ock become Superior Spider-Man was stupid. I agree. I'm not a fan of Superior Spider-Man. I know a lot of people love it, and I'm not going to take that away from anybody. If you love Superior Spider-Man, more power to you. And comics. It's diverse in terms of content. Everyone's going to like something. Everyone's going to dislike something. It's just the nature of the beast. But yeah, no. In my Dan Slott like Spider-Man retrospective review, I say that, you know, Superior Spider-Man is like a really cool idea and blah blah blah, and I kind of cringe when I go back to that video because Superior Spider-Man is just the Michael Bay version of Kraven's Last Hunt, stretched out to like 30 issues. Like it's Kraven's Last Hunt if Kraven's Last Hunt was like really stupid and directed by Michael Bay. That's what it is. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's over. That's over. Doc Ock is back. Thank you, Nick. Damn it, I almost called him Nick Grundle. That's not right. Nick Spencer. Your name is Nick Spencer. How do I keep forgetting that? I make him like literally every other Nick, and it's yeah. Oh, E1610 is in the chat. What's up? How you doing, bud? Drops 2000s comics. Greater sign, which I think for you guys is, well, no, this looks like the less than sign for you because it's mirrored. So I guess, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Part of me wants to say I agree, but part of me also doesn't know if that's like me being blinded by nostalgia. Like, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. But I can say that I enjoy a lot of 2000s comics a great deal. Even comics that I haven't read from the 2000s that I go back to and like, I give a read and I'm like, this is really good. So I will say that. Tevia says, wait a second, didn't Batman in-game try to kill off Bruce Wayne Batman in the New 52 during the Scott Snyder run? I really try not to discredit Scott Snyder and his run on Batman by saying it's Diet Grant Morrison, but Scott Snyder has a lot of the same ideas about Batman as a character and has a lot of similar story ideas for Batman as Grant Morrison did during their run on the character. That's all I'll say about that. And Earth 1610 shows up again and says, pre-2016 comics in general. Kind of. I'm kind of in that same boat. I can see that. I can definitely see that. And they also say, Mystical Green Beanie, I'm still mega hyped for that Ultimates 2 video. Almost here. I literally just finished writing the script for it. I'm debating with myself whether or not I'm being too perfectionist about it. Because I got all the core idea stuff out of the way in terms of the politics and how that relates to the real world and tying it to Ultimates and what Mark Millar was trying to say. And what Brian Hitch and Mark Millar were trying to say with that comic about the George Bush administration and the military-industrial complex. I got all the big stuff out of the way. Now it's just the little stuff that I'm kind of mowing over. Do I want to keep that there, or do I really care about talking about Loki's big plan and how he's involved, and do I really want to focus on Captain America and his relationship with Janet, because I kind of covered some of the Captain America stuff in the first Ultimates video. So I don't know. It's just the little stuff that I'm kind of mowing over now. But yeah, for the most part, script is done. And I know for the longest time I said February. That's no. Well, clearly because February is over. But yeah, no. Hopefully the video's out by the summer. Just because midterms are a thing that I'm still going through. Even on spring break. Still gotta worry about midterms. But hopefully after the semester's over, I'll have my Ultimates video all done. And then I won't talk about it ever again, because I'm just going to ignore the fact that Ultimates 3 Ultimatum, and then later the Ultimates Comics Ultimates books by Mark Millar and Jeff Loeb exist. Pain. Pure pain. Propane accessories. Tevia says, why can't Marvel just pull the trigger and retire Peter Parker Spider-Man and give me what I want and end Peter Parker's Spider-Man story? Because Peter Parker's a profitable character. In fact, he's the most profitable fictional character. Yeah, no, that'll never happen, unfortunately. Yeah. New Type JB Lee says, have you read the entire G. Willow Wilson run on Ms. Marvel? I love her supporting cast, and I feel like her supporting characters is stronger and more interesting than Miles' supporting cast, even in the Ultimate Universe. Yep. I 100% agree with that statement. Yep. Everything you just said. I second that. I love the G. Willow Wilson series. I think that is pure... Okay. The best way that I can kind of sell the Miss Marvel is that ever since Spider-Man came on the scene, everybody in the comics publishing business has been trying to make their own Spider-Man or recreate the magic of Spider-Man. And most of them have been complete and utter failures. I think one of the very few success stories in regards to like mimicking Spider-Man is Static from Milestone. I think that original Static Milestone book is legitimately one of, if not the only other teen-centric superhero comic that successfully like grabs the baton from Spider-Man and says, I got it. I am the new teen, superhero story icon. And unlike Peter Parker, Milestone Static actually does have a finale. And I think, Milestone. I think it's, my brain did a fart for a second. Because we were just talking about Miles Morales. But, the original Milestone, Virgil Hawkins Static Shock character, he does have a finale, which is something that Peter Parker will never have, which is why I think it's part of the reason why I would say that Virgil Hawkins is a fundamentally better character than Peter Parker. But I also feel like, in the same way that Static took the teen superhero baton from Spider-Man and like just ran with it, I feel like Kamala took that teen superhero baton from Static and just ran with it. And that whole G. Willow Wilson series, there are some dips and dives here and there, because just keeping it a buck, Kamala Khan got really popular in an era of Marvel Comics history when being really popular was more so a detriment than it was a help. So like Kamala got roped into like all these like really shitty events, and she had like character cameos from random other characters that really had no business being in her book. But if you can get past some of that, if you can get past all of that, the G. Willow Wilson series is, it's kind of the best Spider-Man comic that we've had since Static. It just is. Really well written, really well drawn. Just great stuff all around. And I highly recommend checking it. I almost said check it up. I highly recommend checking it. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna do that again, and I'm going to be more professional this time. I highly recommend checking it out. Producer wink and nod. There we go. I did it. I just sold a comic. Yeah. Marvel, hire me. I know what I'm doing. But yeah, no. I'm totally with you. I also think Kamala's supporting cast is like way more interesting than Miles is. Tevye says, do you believe both Kane and Ben Reilly should go away? Yes. Earth 1610. Marvel and DC. Origins, deaths, resurrections, retcons, reboots. Never-ending business exploiter decisions of popular franchises in demand. Yeah, well, that's the bad side of, consumerist media, honestly. That's the negative impact of characters being really popular. Yeah. It's a shame, but it comes with the territory. And they also go on to say that Marvel and DC mainstream universe lore. Not quite sure what you mean by that, but yes. Possibly, maybe. Tevye says, heck, even Marvel Dark Ages has Peter Parker and Mary Jane become parents to their daughter, and she's really cute and adorable. Yeah, dude, I really think Peter's finale is being a dad and being the father that he wishes Richard could have been, but also the father that he appreciates that Ben was. And that's what I really think is that's what I think Peter Parker's finale is and should be. New Type JB Lee says, I feel Harry was underrated as the Green Goblin. The ways he tried to drive Pete insane, especially the whole robot parents arc with the word gotcha. Yeah, dude. No. Yeah, I agree. Harry's a great villain. With a really cool redemption. Although it's snap, but I still really like it. Tevia says, I still maintain we don't need another Heroes versus Heroes event. Well, that's just common sense, and that's why it'll never work in comics, because we can't have people with, like, good ideas, right? Okay, no, that's fucked up. But no, that's a good idea, and I really wish Marvel and DC would, I really wish that they would listen to that. Earth 1610. Marvel's been doing trailers for their comics since the 2000s. You're right. Yeah, no, you're right. And I'm glad that they do that. Earth 1610. Comic book fans of Marvel and DC. What if these characters aged in real time? Well, then we would get books like, Batman, Superman Generations, and Life Story, which I really like. I absolutely love the Life Story brand from Marvel. I really like that we see those characters kind of age in not real time, but they age accordingly. I think it's really cool. Samuel Myers, as someone with no nostalgia for the 2000s comics, they were really great. Oh, well then, all right. I guess I'm vindicated. New Type JB Lee says, I wish Marvel collected and digitized more issues of the old B titles of Spectacular and Web, especially an omnibus of Jerry Conway's late 80s Spectacular and Web runs that featured classic Tombstone arc. Yes, I agree. Marvel put out a Tombstone, like the first appearance of Tombstone, like trade, and then they never did a volume 2. I don't know why they did that. Weird. But yeah, I really like Tombstone. He's a really cool character. And I really want that J.M. DeMatteis and Sal Buscema run on, I think, Spectacular Spider-Man to go in print. There's a lot of demand for it. I don't know why Marvel hasn't just pulled the trigger on that. That's weird. I don't get that, but I don't know. The day it does go in print, I will buy it. No matter how much it costs, I will buy it. Tevia says, oh, any opinion on the Miss Marvel trailer? Because personally I thought it was okay. I mean, at this point I'm just kind of like, I'm not getting super excited over the Disney Plus shows. I got really excited over Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I didn't like that at all. I got really excited over WandaVision, and the beginning's really good. I got really excited over What If, and then yeah, people like What If, and I'm glad they do. Just not for me. Wow, Party Thor. Okay, that's a thing that somebody thought was a good idea. So I'm trying not to get like super hyped up, but it looked fine to me. I definitely see the complaints that a lot of other people have had of the show based off the trailer. So we'll see. Off the bat, even though I kind of already knew that they were gonna change Kamala's powers and make her like Green Lantern or whatever the fuck, I don't know. I knew that kind of going in, so I wasn't really surprised by it. I still don't like it because it's. Come on, what are you doing? And it's weird. I see people like defending it, like no, but like Marvel's brilliant, and Disney they can't have Kamala have stretchy powers and polymorph powers because Mr. Fantastic is gonna show up soon, and you can't have two characters with similar power sets. And I'm just sitting here like, bro, we just got Spider-Man No Way Home. That's a movie that features 3 characters with the same exact power set. And the same exact gimmick and personality quirks. Like, they're all... But you can't have 2 polymorphs. That's No, stop. No, it's dumb. It is dumb. Like, okay, you can like the show, you can like the trailer, you can be excited for it, but like, come on, it's dumb. It is dumb, right? No, nah, I don't know. But we'll see. I like the actress. I think she has a lot of she feels like Kamala, but like not in the way the video game feels like Kamala, where it takes all of Kamala's like most annoying attributes and like makes that her character. I can't think of the name of the actress, but like she does a really good job of portraying Kamala Khan. I liked her a lot. Tristan says the Mark Millar Ultimates book was called Ultimate Comics Avengers, and Loeb did Ultimates After Ultimatum. Yeah, and I think they're both terrible. I'll leave that at that. Earth 1610. Marvel's Ultimate Universe equals New Universe line, and Heroes Reborn and Ultimate Marvel. I could see that, yeah. Devia says, so which universe got screwed over the most? The Ultimate Universe or DC's terrible New 52 reboot? Well, I think the New 52... Okay. I think the Ultimate Universe got screwed over more. Just because it started out so well and then just kind of fell flat on its face. But I feel bad for the New 52. New 52 had like a weird uphill battle. And it's... I feel bad for like, the way it's remembered too, because a lot of people in retrospect like to say like, oh, the New 52, it's terrible. Everything was bad about it. Everything, like the idea to reboot the DC universe, terrible. All of it's bad. Just throw it all away. But I distinctly remember people not having those feelings at the time. Like I remember it's like 2010 when there were all those feelings of anxiety surrounding Superman and Lois being broken up. I remember everyone kind of looking at the landscape of the DC universe post Final Crisis thinking, okay, so we didn't reboot the universe? When's the ball gonna drop? I remember, and I also remember people thinking, dude, fuck it, this universe is broken and makes no sense. Just scorched earth, get rid of everything, get rid of the whole thing. I remember people feeling that and thinking that and saying that in comic shops. But now it's popular to say that, New 52 bad and that we have to get rid of everything. I don't know. I was one of those people who was like completely down with the New 52. I think, like, as an idea, it was necessary. You know, I think a reboot was necessary, especially at the time when like a lot of those characters' histories had been so muddled. Like, okay, picture this: it's 2010. Superman's had like 4 reboots in continuity. What is Superman's history? What is his backstory? What is it? I don't know. You know, like a lot of DC fans were just like, dude, fuck it, just reboot the universe. Who cares? And I think the core problem with the New 52 was that DC wanted to have their cake and eat it too. You know, they wanted to reboot and bring in new writers and creators and artists and editors, but they also wanted to keep some of the old stuff to like not offend the like older readers. But like, we didn't give a shit as far as we were concerned. Yeah, man, go ahead. Let Earth 1 be the reboot universe. You know, just start from scratch, build something new from the ground up. But DC didn't want to do that. They wanted to like cherry pick what was going to be in continuity and like throw some stuff out but keep some stuff. And you know, at the same time, it was just a half-assed effort. You know, that's the problem with the New 52. It was just a half-assed effort. So I think the New 52 like never had a shot at all, unfortunately. Which sucks, because there were a lot of cool stories in New 52. You know, I love Grant Morrison's Action Comics series. I absolutely love the... I have it on my bookshelf, so I'm trying to look at his name. I don't see his name. Oh, well. But it's the Green Arrow series by Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino. Yes, them. I love them. You know, I also really liked the... I liked Batman Incorporated, which is that's a Grant Morrison title, and that's just a continuation of what Grant Morrison was already doing with Batman. But I like that series a great deal. I think Red Hood and the Outlaws is really fun. It's dumb. It's a really stupid comic, but it's a really fun comic. So yeah, no, I think the New 52 had a lot to offer. It's just they had that problem when they wanted to have their cake and eat it too, and that was the problem. But I do respect, you know, your opinion in that the New 52 was a bad idea from the beginning, which, in retrospect, yeah, it definitely was. Okay, and it is 12:06, so I'm gonna wrap this up real quick and rapid fire some of these questions. New Type JB Lee says, have you ever read the classic 80s Claremont run? Some of it. Claremont is very wordy for me, and I just don't immediately vibe with the X-Men like that. I'm a heretic, I know, I'm sorry. But maybe one day I'll check it out. You know, I was that same way with Superman a while ago. I didn't like Superman for a long time, and then one day everything just clicked, and now I'm obsessed with Superman. So, maybe that'll happen with the X-Men one day. Earth 1610 said, I would rather read the source material than watch Marvel Cinematic Universe and DC Extended Universe stuff. Same here, bud. Same here. Earth 1610, DC's even DC's Elongated Man and Plastic Man have the same powers. LOL. Yeah. You know, again, I don't get that whole, you know, defense of the Miss Marvel show where like they change their powers. I don't get it. New Type JB Lee. On Jim Shooter, it's a sad thing that he had a ban on gay and lesbian characters in his 80s Marvel editor-in-chief reign. Because I agree with everything else, like stronger continuity and creative rights. Damn, I did not know that. That's a shame. Especially for Marvel. Like, Marvel characters are like supposed to represent the real world, and I mean, gay people live in the real world. I don't know. But again, 80s, I think that was just one of those things where we weren't there yet. Like, I think that's what Jim Shooter was thinking. Or I hope that's what Jim Shooter was thinking. I hope it's not like a... Yeah. a bias situation. Earth 1610 says, I really love the Ultimate Universe in the New 52. Cool, man. Yeah, there's, again, a lot of cool stuff in the New 52. Tevia says, I still maintain the New 52 was a terrible idea. Yeah, and I respect that. However, Teen Titans for the New 52 got screwed the most. Yeah, well, I mean, Teen Titans has been screwed ever since George Perez and Marv Wolfman left the book. I like that Jeff Johns series well enough, but yeah, it doesn't end well. I'll say that. Earth 1610, mainstream comics universes equal retcons reboot central. Yeah. Samuel Myers says, as someone who only really recently started reading comics, the New 52 has some of my favorite and least favorite stories that I've read. The Court of the Owls was awesome, and I really enjoyed the Teen Titans book. I'm glad. I like the designs that Brett Booth came up with for a lot of the Teen Titans in the New 52. I'm in the minority of people who actually really likes the Showgirls outfit for Red Robin. I still think he had a different name because I still maintain that Red Robin's a terrible name for Tim Drake to go by, but no, I like that costume that he had. I also like the idea of Beast Boy being red because it ties. They're doing a whole world building thing where Poison Ivy is green for the same reason that Swamp Thing is green because they're connected to the green, and then you get to Animal Man, and Beast Boy is connected to the red because it's organic. No, I like that idea a lot. I think it's really cool. So yeah, New 52 had a lot of cool stuff behind it. New Tech JB Lee. I feel the reason why Post Crisis worked is that it had a stronger plan with choosing popular characters like George Perez and Frank Miller, who redefined Wonder Woman and Batman's origins. Yeah, well, agree and disagree. I really liked the Batman origin update that Frank Miller did. Although part of me really kind of wishes we got to see that rejected Frank Miller pitch for Superman year one that he apparently pitched to Marv Wolfman in 1985 because he wanted to reboot Superman, but the editors chose John Byrne over him. Still interested to see what that would have looked like, and I'm interested to see just grab a portal gun and just go to the universe where we got the Frank Miller Superman reboot, and see what does Superman look like post Frank Miller if Miller did for Superman what he did for Batman with year one. I'm interested to see if Superman is still popular, if that happens, or maintains his popularity. But yeah, no, I like those stories. I think the George Perez Wonder Woman series is great. Just I think the Batman's reboot's really good. Just I think that Man of Steel by John Byrne is really cool. But trying to read all that stuff together, none of that feels coherent. It doesn't feel like they were thinking about building a new universe out of that. And if they were, it feels sloppy. I think that post-crisis era we tend to fetishize, but I don't know. Going back and reading a lot of that stuff, I get the same New 52, you guys didn't think this through kind of vibes that I got from yeah, no, just same thing. Feels good stories, just they weren't thinking about the whole picture. Tristan says, I heard the only good things about New 52 were Scott Snyder's Batman, Jeff Johns' Justice League, and Superman, The Flash, I think, and Tomasi's Batman and Robin. Well, I'm in the minority. I don't like Scott Snyder's Batman. I'm not really a big fan of Jeff Johns' Justice League. I don't, yeah, no, I'm sorry. And I do like Jeff Johns' run on Superman. I think well, no, I like the beginning of it. Then everything after like, with the whole solar flare thing and like hoarder route or whatever, when Superman's identity gets outed, I think all that's really dumb. But I like the Men of Tomorrow story. I think that's really cool. The Flash is really good consistently, despite the fact that I don't like Barry Allen as a character. But I think the Flash run is legitimately really fun and really good for like newer readers. And Tomasi's Batman and Robin, also a good series. Personal recommendations for the Nifty Two. Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino's Green Arrow. I was going to say Grant Morrison's Batman, but that kind of stretches beyond the Nifty Two. That like starts in 2006 and ends in like 2014, I think. So like, or maybe 2013. No, 2012. It ends like a year after the Nifty 2 begins. So like, I don't know. That's technically Nifty 2, but like not really. So yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good list of Nifty 2 stuff to read. Oh, okay. So Green Arrow by Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino. Grant Morrison and Rags Morales' Action Comics series, which I think spans 3 volumes. Yeah, 3 volumes. I also really like Greg Pak's run on Action Comics. I think Under the Skin is a really good series. That's like a really cool like horror comic with Superman. Also reaffirms my beliefs that Superman is a versatile character and can fit in any genre. What else from the Nifty Do that I really like? I like Red Hood and the Outlaws. It's a really dumb like Michael Bay movie, but it's a really fun dumb Michael Bay movie. What else from the Nifty Do is really cool? There's other stuff there. It's just hard to kind of think about it like off the top of my head. The Nightwing series was like kind of all right, Supergirl was great. Supergirl is probably the best, like one of the best comics come out of the Nifty 2. As well as Wonder Woman by Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chang and Tony Atkins. Okay, no. Wonder Woman in the New 52 is dynamic. It's dynamite, and I highly recommend checking it out if you haven't already. It's really good. Now, there's a lot of cool stuff in the New 52. Yeah, no. Earth 1610, Post-Crisis was just as convoluted with its picking and choosing instead of completely rebooting from scratch. I agree. Tevia says, personally, I love DC Rebirth way more than Nifty 2 and gave me back Tim Drake Robin and Superman as a father is really awesome. Yeah. I think we talked about that. I think we're in different opinions on Superman as a dad, but I'm really glad a lot of people really like Rebirth. And Tevye says, I don't get the change of powers with Miss Marvel either on the show. Yeah, I don't get it either. Tristan says, before I go, I sent you a link to the Judgment Day trailer. Thanks, bud. And hopefully you have a great night, Yeah. Hasta luego. I think that's Spanish or something. I don't know. Tevye says, I'm glad that there are some people who like the New 52 more than I did. Yeah. New Type Jubilee says, it sucks that the next Miss Marvel writer, Saladin Ahmed, mind-wiped her parents' knowledge of their daughter's secret identity. Is that what happened? That sucks, dude. That's lame. Fuck that, dude. That sucks. Tevye says, we technically got Superman Year 1 with Frank Miller. We did. Although Frank Miller now is very different from Frank Miller in like 1986. And I would be very interested to see what Frank Miller in 1986 would have done with Superman. Like very fascinated. Especially after, like if you look at the difference between Frank Miller's Batman and The Dark Knight Returns versus Batman Year One, and just how there's a deep contrast between a young idealistic Batman and an old grizzled like damn near nihilistic Batman with Dark Knight Returns. I would have loved to see what Frank Miller would have done with a young idealistic Superman versus the jaded, we have to work within the system to maintain, peace, Superman that we see in Dark Knight Returns. I would have loved to see that. Yeah. Frank Miller gets Superman. Like, I know that's like an unpopular thing to say, but like, no. Just in the way that Frank deconstructed Batman and Superman in The Dark Knight Returns, and like used those status quos to illustrate that this is not how those characters are supposed to look. I would have loved to see his approach to what those characters would have looked like as he thinks they should be ideally. I would have loved to see him do that with Superman. In 1986. Superman Year One is... I'm not a fan of it. There's things in it that I like a lot. But I'm not a fan of the John Romita Jr. art for it. I just don't think John Romita Jr. works on a lot of DC stuff. I'm sorry. I don't know. But I like a lot of the ideas that Frank Miller has about Superman and like what it means to be, righteous in a world that, kind of lacks altruism. I think that's really interesting. I just wish we got that in 1986 with a different Frank Miller. Earth 1610 says Millerverse, cool concepts. Bendisverse, unfinished plots and arcs. John's verse, Silver Age, Bronze Age, fan chilling. You said it, not me. But I'm not going to openly disagree with you. New Touch GB Lee says, with Post-Crisis Superman by Byrne, I feel removing all of the Silver Age elements was a bad choice, because I like the Legion, Crypto, Supergirl, Fortress of Solitude, and Clark's Time and Superboy. I think a lot of that can work. I don't know. I'm at odds with myself on that. Yeah, I'm at odds with myself on that a lot. Because I personally have a lot of problems with the... Okay, I don't like the Legion of Superheroes. Yeah, I'm one of those people. Because I love the idea of Superman being Superman as like... That's a choice that he makes. That's a choice that Clark Kent makes to be Superman. And I think when you bring in the Legion of Superheroes and they're like, hey, what's up, Clark? You're destined to be the world's greatest superhero. And then Clark sees himself in the future and he's like, oh, well, obviously that's what I'm going to be. Therefore, I'll just do it. Like, I think you robbed the character of a lot of agency in that. But, I don't know. Yeah. There's some Silver Age stuff that I really like in Superman, but there's also a lot of Silver Age stuff that I just don't like. I also have a weird relationship with like the Silver Age, because I feel like that's when the character starts to become a parody of himself. But a lot of that's because I really like Golden Age Superman. I think a lot of those Golden Age stories are really cool. And by the time you get to the Silver Age, that's when, a lot of the kind of grit and, like, purpose behind Superman is thrown by the wayside. And, I don't know, just a lot of those Silver Age stories, to me at least, feel like... when you watch a TV show that's been on for, like, way longer than it should be? That's what Silver Age Superman stories feel like to me. I don't know. That's just me, though. Tevia says, I still maintain Wally West should stay the Flash because he's my Flash growing up. I agree. Although I I like the idea of Bart Allen becoming the Flash, despite not liking that series at all. But no, I still think I like the idea of the Flash being like a mantle that's passed down generation to generation, like the Phantom or someone like that. I think that's a really cool idea. Earth 1610. Wally West's story ended with Jeff Johns' run and should have retired and let Bart take over properly. I agree. Samuel Myers, hasta luego, see you later. See, look, I did a Spanish right. I did Spanish right. Tevius Mocha, fair enough. However, the current Jeremy Adams Wally West Flash book with him being a father to his kids and wife Linda Park is freaking fantastic. No, I like the status quo of like Wally being a father. I think that's really good for his character. Just going off of like where he started, you know, as the kid who had to fill in for his not father's but like his mentor's shoes, and you know, Wally was a very immature Flash. He was a very kind of skeezy superhero. He had a lot of those like young man fast lane tendencies, and he didn't quite live up to the ideal of what a Justice League member should be, and that really came to bite him in the ass when he was father and husband. And you know, you would have people walking up to him like, "Hey, Wally, you're a responsible man now. So since you're all about responsibility, how about you take care of this child that you had with me, you know, 10 years ago, huh?" Yeah, like, yeah, I like that a lot. I think that works for Wally's character arc. I just don't like Superman as a dad. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. Earth 1610 says DC Rebirth, false promises with nostalgia bait. Especially with Heroes in Crisis came around. The pre-52 world stuff never really officially came back. Picking and choosing BS again. Yeah. And that's just kind of the case with what's the new one called that DC's living in right now? Like the Linear Verse, whatever. Yes. Which is basically just like a rebranded version of Hyper Time. So I don't know, whatever. But yeah, that's just what being a DC Comics fan is. You just kind of got to live with that stuff. New Type JB Lee says, for Spider-Man, do you like the harsh, sarcastic edge of Ditko Peter, who traded insults with Flash and had angry, alienated outlook? Because no adaptation have really captured that. Well, I disagree. I think Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man really captures that in the first Amazing Spider-Man movie. But then you get to the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and then Peter feels more like an updated version of Ramita, in the same way that in the first movie he felt like an updated version of Ditko. I like a lot of that stuff, and I like that it serves as backstory for Peter as an adult who has gotten over those tendencies and has kind of changed his outlook on life. In the very same way that, like, us, you know, we look back on how we were as teenagers and are just like, Jesus, I was like that. And I'm glad I'm not anymore. I think it's very realistic. I think it's very honest. And I appreciate Peter Parker as a character for that. Tevia says, same here. I'm not a fan of the John Romita Jr. artwork. For Superman Year One, yeah. I just don't like John Romita's artwork on DC characters. I don't know. I have that arbitrary kind of like complaint with artists. Like if I affiliate you with like either the Marvel or DC universe, I'm just going to affiliate you with Marvel or the DC universe. Like Mark Bagley drew Justice League for I think 20 issues, and it just looked weird to me because whenever I'm looking at the art, I'm just like, no, this is like objectively good, but like Jesus, dude, no. Spider-Man, you draw Spider-Man, and my brain can't wrap around the idea of you drawing characters that aren't Spider-Man. Earth 1610 says Legion of Superheroes, convoluted Destiny storytelling. I like the modern age. Yeah, I agree. New type JB Lee. Stan Lee is underrated as an editor because he managed to maintain a strong, shared, cohesive universe, and he let Steve Ditko and Kirby do their own weird psychedelic experimental stuff. Stan Lee is a really good editor at Marvel Comics. In fact, I think he's a better editor than he was a writer. Intevia says, final question, any opinion on the upcoming Dark Crisis event from DC Comics? I don't care. Don't care. Yeah, no. And New Type JB Lee says, I feel the perfect Spider-Man movies would have been a collaboration between Andrew Garfield and Sam Raimi. I see that. I'm weird. I'm one of those weirdos. I'm not a fan of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, which is weird because I love Sam Raimi as a director. I love the Evil Dead films, and I love a lot of his horror stuff. But just I don't like a Spider-Man. I think Sam Raimi would make a great Superman movie, but Spider-Man, no. And final one, last one, last chat comes from Earth 1610. DC's Dark Crisis. Oh great, more reboots and retcons. Yeah. But that's what, being a Marvel DC fan is, just kind of living with reboots and retcons. But yeah, guys, that's the show tonight. Again, a lot of really cool comics came out this week. Well, some of them I didn't get a chance to get, but I heard a lot of really good things about Flash and Nightwing this week. So hopefully my store restocks and gets some more in. But yeah, no. Comics I got this week: Radiant Black #4, World's Finest #1. Again, really great. I really hope a lot of people buy this and it shows that, I want people to buy this and show DC that we want this. We want more stuff like this. Give us more stuff like this. This is great. Thank you. Daily Avengers. Again, I'm really excited that I got this. I can't wait to read through the rest of this later tonight. Again, I'll have a link posted to the Heroes Initiative in the description of this video of the stream after I posted this video. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And as always, until next time, adios, nachos, adios.